Hello. All right, has it begun? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us at this very cozy stage today. My name is Sam, also known as Stakesaurus, and this is Daik1. We are both Ethereum solo and home stakers in our respective cities. So I'm based in Singapore, Daik1 is based in Japan. So today, we are going to talk to you about the emergence of solo stakers and home stakers in Asia. So this is going to be a casual conversation that you guys will be part of as well. Daik1 and I will be sharing stories from our respective communities, how we got started on our own journeys as Ethereum solo stakers, as home stakers, what our communities look like, what do they like about this space, what are the unique challenges they face, and how do we run our communities, and what are the plans we have in store for our communities moving forward. So, Daik1, of course, I naturally know your journey, but for the benefit of everyone else here, maybe let's kick it off with a simple question. How did you get started as an Ethereum solo staker, and where are you at today?
Yeah, good point. So once again, I'm Daik1, leading the Japanese solo staker community. And let me start with this topic. So last year, this day, I wasn't start my my validator. And last time I get to know the notion of leverage staking, which is the notion that you don't have to bring 32 ETH, but you can get the protocol delegation from Lido or Locketbo. So the thing is you're gonna prepare maybe 2 ETH as a collateral, or I would say bond, and you're gonna put into the protocol. And the protocol will get you the 32 ETH unit. So this is the notion of the leverage staking. And then last year, I get to know about this notion and do some testnet practice during last year summer, and the later half of this year, I start to utilize in Lido CSM, which is the latest module provided by Lido Finance, and I start learning over 10 mainnet validator in the last year. And then I also started to helping others to do the same journey with me. So it's super new for me to be part of this kind of speaking of opportunities also new to me. But I really also it's very interesting because once you get started with the node operation, a bunch of the opportunities opening up. Which is I'm going to cover later on. But that's how my journey starts. So last year, it was just 1 year after my graduation from my college. So of course I don't have enough fund, but it's eventually end up to running 2-digit nodes. So yeah, that's super lovely thing. Yeah, and then I think I spoke too much, so I get you microphone back to Sam, and yeah, it's house of yours.
Sure. So I first started exploring the Ethereum ecosystem in 2017, and I've always wanted to run my own validator eventually, but I did not have a technical background, and resources and the tooling was very scarce back then. So it took me until early 2022 to finally be confident enough to launch my own full 32 ETH Ethereum validator. And what this meant was, Daik1 and I, we are running Ethereum validators from our own homes using consumer hardware, running on residential internet connection, residential power lines. And soon after that, people started reaching out to me to help them get across this very scary chasm as well. So as a community started to form when I started putting together tailored guides for non-technical people like myself, and I started, running workshops in Singapore and Malaysia. So organically, this community started to form, and over time, I started getting more involved with projects that were building for Ethereum home stakers, like the Lido Community Lifeguards Initiative, like the OBO Staking Mastery program, like the SSV Verified Operators program as well. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that was how my journey went. Today, what I'm doing is, other than my full node, my full validator, I also take part in and leverage on various staking projects like the Lido Community Staking Module. I also run Stakewise V3 vaults for both ETH and GNO. I facilitate SSV and OBO clusters within my communities. What do I do? Else do I do? I also have been involved in the Lido Simple DVT and EtherFi Operation Solo Stakers delegation program. So this is where Lido and EtherFi as an organization, they would delegate some amount of Ethereum validator keys to DVT clusters who have been verified and who are proficient in operating their nodes. Yeah, and these DVT cluster members, they get a share of the staking rewards from this delegated ETH. And I believe there are more delegation opportunities on the horizon, especially with the advent of, not advent yet, but hopefully soon to be advent of the ETH staking ETF or staked ETH ETF, which will bring a lot more demand for staked ETH, and then there will be more delegation opportunities, hopefully. Yeah, and we're starting to see more delegation opportunities arise and emerge, actually. So NodeSet is the newest one that started onboarding node operators and solo stakers onto their node operator set and then delegating some number of Ethereum validated keys to them. Yeah, so that is my journey. Moving forward, I will continue exploring high quality and ETH-aligned node operation opportunities. For example, layer 2 sequencing, layer 2 sequences, they're starting to open up to Ethereum home stakers and solo stakers as well. The foremost example I can give would be Aztec, the privacy-focused layer 2. Yeah, so they are starting to open up their sequences to everyone. So yeah, I'll be exploring that, and once I experiment with it, and then I feel that it's credible and reliable, right? I will then funnel it to my community as well, right? Daiki, I'm very curious. So you spend a lot of time in Japan, and obviously you have to speak the language in the community in order to grow it. So I'm wondering how do these home stakers in Japan typically look like? Who are they, and what do they like? Why do they want to get started, and what makes them stay in this community?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. I would say we have about 100 community member in my Telegram chat. Everyone would like to keen about how to spin up the node and how to be participating in node operation. But I would like to highlight more than 50% of people has no technological background or engineering background, but they are still keen to learn. So when it comes to a node operation or a validator, it's kind of it's very looks like a technological stuff, but the node operation in this year is not something super technological. You don't have to have a full stack of engineering. If you have a passion, you can spin up the node. So the same situation is in my community. So once again, most of the people, not most of at least over 50% of people is non-technological. And what I found out until current my journey is okay, so I will highlight 3 key remarks from our community. The first one is one of my community members said Ethereum is currently only the one chain who has dedicated support, community, and the protocol for individual who like to spin up the node. Yeah, I totally agree though. Let's say when the situation of Solana, if you want to make a profit of node operation, you have to have approximately 80K Sol token. It's very much huge. But when it comes to the Ethereum, you don't have to have that much of the token. And also we have a community, so hearing that kind of feedback from the community is it's actually capture the nature of Ethereum home staking. And then the second thing is another person say if you contribute to the node operation, you can have you can gain the pure access, pure sense of taking care of network, because you have to learn about what is there, maybe how to take the transaction and how to approve it. So you can, by contributing the node operation, you can understand what is the Ethereum, what is the Ethereum actually do, what is the actual process of the transaction is finally terminated. So once, even though you don't have a technological background, you can learn this kind of aspect, which is good. And then the last thing I want to share in this stage is another people say, validator is something like a digital pet, like dog or cat's digital version of them. Because most of the time, like validator, nodes are super healthy, so you don't have to sit in front of the desk and you don't have to like check every time. But something happened, let's say the pectoral upgrade on a testnet, like we have like kind of like a buggy situation in like 2 months ago. So like sometimes these things happen, and then you also have to take care of that. So it's like, and then like doing this kind of stuff is eventually like node operation become part of your life. So like saying that like node operation is something like a digital pet, it's also capturing the nature. So overall, like node operation in the Japanese scene is like something like people from a lot of the background has a keen to learn about the validator, and I'm also happy to hear that like these kind of remarks is coming up from our community. So how about the situation in Singapore?
Yeah. Before that, I'd like to make a comment. So it's like a Tamagotchi or Digimon pet.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it's quite interesting. I think culturally, it's very aligned with Japanese culture as well. You know, with the whole, it's like taking care of a bonsai plant. You know, you're trying to refine your skills in a craft, and I think that's very Japanese aligned as well. Very ETH aligned and Japanese aligned.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
So true.
Cool. Yeah. I think in Singapore we are a bit more lucky because number one, the country, the economy is quite affluent. So, from all walks of life, we can find aspiring solo stakers. They can be like non-technical people. We have OG Web3 founders, we have Web3 contributors, we even have TradFi, traditional finance executives who are curious about the space. Who else do we have? We have like a lot of protocol researchers, MEV researchers, DeFi natives. All of them find that becoming an Ethereum home staker could be interesting. Previously, it's a bit more altruistic because you need to put up 32 ETH, you need to buy hardware and all that. Barriers to entry very high, and then the staking rewards were not significantly better than if you were to, just do liquid staking or delegated staking of any sort. But with the rise of, bonded validator concepts, with the likes of a Lido community staking module, there's Rocket Pool as well, there's Data, there's Puffer. You can organically enhance your staking rewards to up to 2.3 times in the case of a Lido community staking module, and that completely blows any other ETH staking option out of the water, and this comes without the use of leverage, So for the community in Singapore, I think it's fairly easy to show them the benefits of why they should pick up this skill set today. Of course, the hurdle is that they have to learn an entirely new skill set, which is quite a big challenge because the attention span of the community in Singapore, it's a little bit shorter. We don't have the discipline that the Japanese people have, unfortunately. Things move very quickly. Most people want to be entirely passive, so DeFi options still rank top of mind for them. But this is what I'm trying to change. I'm trying to show them that, hey, this skill set that you're learning today, it's very scalable because one single hardware can support hundreds of validator keys, thousands of validator keys even theoretically. And this skill set is also very transferable because once you know how to run validator nodes on Ethereum, you can easily explore beyond Ethereum. You can run DVTs, you can run even layer 2 sequences. 80% of the skill set you learn is going to be Linux system administration, and it's very transferable once again. And the skill set is very monetizable because there are delegation opportunities popping up every now and then, for you to capture on, for you to tap on. So other kinds of challenges in Singapore are also fairly easy to overcome. So one common challenge will be on the networking side of residential internet connection. Especially if you want to run things like distributed validators, you need something called a static IP address. In Singapore, there are ISPs that could give you this static IP address if you just pay them. I'm not sure about Japan. How does it work?
So answering the Japanese situation, one of the tips for the audience is if you want to spin up the nodes, firstly you have to learn about like your current network. Is it compatible with node operation or like maybe no? So like the Japanese situation is like exactly like totally against the node operation situation. So like let's say like if you have an internet in Japan, like Wi-Fi or like whatever, and if you don't have a contract of home phone, like the phone, like physical phone in your home, like you can't get your internet will be allocated in the form of IPv4, which is the shareable, like IP address is shared with other people. Maybe if you are living in a mansion or like a accommodation, the IP address will be shared with like your residence. And this situation is not like suitable for the node operation at all. So firstly, like even though like people would like to spin up the node, firstly you have to check about like your network is compatible with the node operation or not. And once again, Japanese situation is not, of course. So like you have to change. I mean, like Japanese people has to change the network into like IPv6 or something. So like these kind of things, like getting people proper internet access is one of the hardest part for the Japanese people, because like even though like they know like how to spin up the node, like what is the structure of node operation, they also have to understand what is the network, what is the like like they also have to understand the network situation in general. And then once like after they learn it, it turns out that like most of the network situation is not like suitable. So like this kind of stuff is so much tough for me. And how about this?
But it's solvable, and this is why a community is important as a layer to get people together, have them solve problems together, and in this way they can form deeper bonds with one another. And one of the reasons why I think the community stays is for the other people in the community. It's a way to make friends. And I'd like to talk a little bit about how we run our communities. All right. If you see Daiki's title is Solo Stakers Guild Japan. The Solo Stakers Guild is the banner which we use to gather our communities under. Yeah. So it's a brand under the Lido Community Lifeguards Initiative, where Lido will provide support in terms of grant, resources, manpower to grow these communities across Asia and Latin America. And actually, we are going to run an edition of Solo Stakers Guild right after this at 2 p.m., from 2 to 5 p.m. So it's going to be a hands-on workshop covering Lido CSM, Solo Staking, and SSV and OBO distributed validators. So if you guys want to join, feel free to DM me on Twitter. Can look for Stakesaurus, search for Stakesaurus, and you'll find me, and then I'll send you the Luma link. Why we are excited about growing a very niche community of solo stakers is because Daiki and I, we believe that solo stakers and home stakers are the power users of the Ethereum ecosystem, because we are patient, we are adventurous. Once we learn something, we go deep into it, and we've started exploring beyond just solo staking. We've done things like Ethereum consensus mechanism, how it works, how does on-chain voting works, how even like other Ethereum ecosystem projects work in more detail, like AMMs, and we're gonna do a bit of like a Solidity and all this stuff as well. So this is a grassroots community effort that we are working very hard on, and it's starting to show a lot of progress. So we invite you warmly to join this movement of Ethereum solo stakers and home stakers. Are we on time?
Yeah.
2 minutes. Okay.
It's all shoot.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions for us, feel free to ask or reach out. Yes.
Thank you. You are solo stakers, but as you mentioned, there are a lot of initiatives for delegating stake, like Lido CSM, Rocket Pool, NodeSet, others. Do you think there's a threat in that as well? Because solo staking offers like just shy of 3% or something, and Lido CSM is like 3 or 6, 7?
Maybe 7%, yeah.
Yeah.
So your concern is all, like, in the worst case scenario, all solo stakers shut down their nodes, exit, and then go into Lido CSM.
Yeah.
Correct. I think that it's less likely for that to be so because those who are already solo staking with 32 ETH, right? They don't only do it for profit. They want to contribute the highest marginal decentralization and security to the network. So it's less likely that they will shut down their nodes and move all to Lido CSM. And even for us at the Lido Community Lifeguards Initiative, we actively discourage solo stakers from doing that. What we tell them to do is any accumulated rewards that you have accrued, right? You can use it on Lido CSM to compound. Yeah.
But is it good that we, as a Ethereum network, rely on the generosity of solo stakers to run less profitable?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are on time, so I'm happy to take that question offline.
Sure.
Thank you.